Viking superstar running back Dalvin Cook was just released, and there are some prominent Eagle people saying Philadelphia should 100% pursue him. Will the Eagles sign him? Should the Eagles sign him? Let's find out today. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome to the Thomas Mott Show on a Thursday. Dalvin Cook is the focus as he was just released, but there are a couple of other news and notes I want to jump into here as we get into the Philadelphia Eagles and more. Starting with the air quality in Philadelphia. You're probably wondering, Thomas, did the Eagles practice yesterday? No, they didn't. They are practicing today, though, but it will be indoors. Joe Castro, the Philly Talk podcast, he had this on his Twitter account, quote, "The Eagles have moved their practice indoors due to the poor air quality. Practice is at 1 p.m. Eastern time and will be open to the media." And so we're going to get some nice practice videos, maybe for tomorrow's show, about Philadelphia doing their OTA practices, maybe some 11-on-11 work today. But to no one's shock, due to the wildfires in Canada and the awful air quality, I'm sure you've seen the pictures, they have to go indoors because outdoors, especially in Philly and New York, are absolutely terrible. Stay safe out there. I'm not in Philadelphia. I'm down in Atlanta, but I understand that it is rough for a lot of people, so hopefully the air purifiers you might have in your house are working pretty darn well. All right, let's go to the star of the show here, and that is the Dalvin Cook situation. Madam Schefter had this tweet about 30 minutes ago. We'll start there, and then we'll get to Elliott Shore-Park's quote tweet. Quote, Vikings are expected to trade four-time Pro Bowl running back Dalvin Cook one more time today, or try to trade him one more time today, and if they're unable to, they would plan to process his official release Friday per source. There's a new update saying they will release him. Obviously, whenever you put a tweet out like this saying, we're going to try to trade him one more time, but we will go ahead and cut him if we don't trade him, means they're going to cut him. So he will officially be a free agent as of either 4 p.m. today or 4 p.m. on Friday, depending on how quickly the paperwork moves with the NFL league office. And so Dalvin Cook, who multiple times has been mentioned, at least from different pundits and writers, as a target for Philadelphia pre-DeAndre Swift and pre-draft, is now a free agent. Now, the immediate thought process on Dalvin Cook is, no, the Eagles don't need him, right? They signed DeAndre Swift. They signed Rashad Penny. Kenny Gainwell was really popping and was basically their lead back all throughout the postseason last year. Boston Scott is good for 2 games a year minimum against the New York Giants. They have a stable of running backs, and behind that offensive line, you can do literally whatever, to the point that you and I could rush for probably, I don't know, I think I get 10 carries for 45 yards and a touchdown at the goal line behind this offensive line. I'm kidding, but still. Although people like Elliott Shore-Parks, very vocal on Twitter at 94.1 WIP, said this, quote, Dalvin Cook is better than any running back the Eagles have. Might be complicated to make it happen, but Cooks would be an upgrade at an important spot, end quote. Let's break this down. He is better, but how much better? That's my question. How much better? Now, I will say this. Philadelphia, out of all the teams that have money right now, are right up there in the top 10 in terms of cap space. We've talked about it. $3.4+ million in cap space right now. That's a lot more than other teams. Now, Howie's not going to give Dalvin Cook some sort of $6 million a year contract. It'd be more like 2 or 3. But if money were the option here, Philadelphia at least has that in their war chest. Now, he talks about Dalvin Cook being better than any running back the Eagles have. Technically, that is true. We think of Dalvin Cook, we think he's washed, we think he's old, we think he's been injured a lot. Yet, just off the top of your head, how many rushing yards did he have last year? Huh? He had 1,173. I had no idea. Literally no idea. And he played in all 17 games. 264 carries, the most about his entire career, except for 2020. He had 8 rushing touchdowns. He averaged 4.4 yards per carry. And he still had, a bunch of receptions as well. He got 39 balls for 295 yards. Way better numbers than I thought when I started prepping for today's video. Now, again, the question really becomes is how much better is he than DeAndre Swift? That's the real question, because DeAndre Swift, we all think, is going to be fantastic behind this offensive line and is a great fit in Philadelphia, and I think a really true RB1 in what will still be a stable of running back system. But if you think Dalvin Cook is light years better, is like all-pro versus serviceable starter better, is 1,100 yards versus 800 yards better, then maybe you at least pick up the phone. Now, I expect a lot of teams to be interested. Jets, for sure, are going to make a phone call. The Dolphins have been heavily rumored in this situation. I saw the Broncos potentially are going to make a run at him. The odds of Philadelphia getting him, I want to emphasize, are very slim. But I'm curious where you guys are at on this, right? Would you want Dalvin Cook? Would it make the running back room too crowded? Remember, if you sign Dalvin Cook, someone's got to go. It's probably Boston Scott, honestly, because you're keeping Gainwell still on a rookie deal. You just signed Penny. and DeAndre Swift, unless Penny stinks during training camp and you cut him for pennies on the dollar, which no pun intended, but still, there's not really a lot of room on that depth chart. So I'm going to say I doubt it. If it were to happen, I would be surprised, but my guess is maybe by the time you're watching this show, he's already signed somewhere else. My pick would be the Dolphins. I think they are really going all in right now, and getting a superstar back like Dalvin Cook could make some sense. Curious where you guys are at on this, though. I'm going to read the comments and see where we are going forward. Now, it's interesting to note in terms of running back, remember, Jeremy Fowler just a couple of weeks ago mentioned that Philadelphia is open to signing Swift to a long-term deal, and you wouldn't do this if you needed to go sign Dalvin Cook. Quote, a big part of the Eagles draft was the acquisition of Lions running back DeAndre Swift for a 4th-round pick and a swap of 7th-rounders. The expectation is Swift will upgrade the Eagles' backfield receiving game. He's a slick route runner had 156 catches the past 3 years. He goes on to talk about how if they performs well, they will be open to extending him into the following season. Remember, DeAndre Swift did play basically the whole season with a high ankle sprain and a separated shoulder. We forget that he mentioned that when he was cleaning out his locker room with the Detroit Lions. So a lot of here, a lot of there, not sure where it's going to go. My guess would be no. I don't want to be one of those people that says, go get him, we got to get him, they have a chance to get him. Probably not, but it's at least worth mentioning because you're going to see it on your timeline all day today. And Philly has always, like I said yesterday, we're rumored with it for everybody, right? Oh, Chase Young wants to trade. We're going to get Chase Young. Buda Baker, we're going to get Buda Baker. DeAndre Hopkins, let's trade for him. These going to happen? Probably not, but I'll read the comments on this whole Dalvin Cook situation. I want to move over here quickly to a storyline that is interesting for Eagle fans because it's in the division, but it's something that no one's talking about, but it's fascinating. And Dov Kleiman tweeted this today. Dak Prescott is going to get a new contract, and if he doesn't get one this year, you're either no longer going to see Dak Prescott as the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, or they're going to grossly overpay him. Look at this, quote, underrated storyline this offseason is what the Cowboys will do with quarterback Dak Prescott. Dak has an almost $60 million cap hit in 2024, which is unbelievably high, and Dallas needs to give him an extension or they'll be severely handicapped by this figure next season. Got to get a deal done now. The longer they wait, the more costly it will be. So either they're going to have to eat $60 million in cap space and get rid of a bunch of players. I mean, how are you going to re-sign Micah Parsons when you're paying Dak Prescott $60 million a year? Or they extend him, which will be expensive because he's going to want more than Jalen Hurts. Doesn't deserve it, but he's been in the league longer, and his argument would be, I've done it for longer, although it's a very weak argument. Or they got to get off of him after this year, and that would be a trade. They would trade him somewhere, which if I'm Dallas, I talked about it yesterday on our Wednesday Link Live, Dak's proven to not be the guy. He's proven to not be a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. He can't get out of the second round of the playoffs. And while a great quarterback, very good during the regular season, we've seen what he can do. He can deal. Every Eagle fan can admit Dak can deal at times, but he's not going to get you to a Super Bowl, let alone out-duel Patrick Mahomes in one. It's just a fact. So if I was Dallas, if I was a Dallas Cowboy fan, I'd be moving off of Dak Prescott. But what they will do is they'll extend him, and they'll give him a 4-year mega contract, maybe more than what Jalen Hurts got, which would be very funny to watch, and they'll continue to be handicapped by a guy who threw a ton of interceptions last year and can't win in the second round of the playoffs. So keep an eye on this storyline because it's going to definitely impact the NFC East and could impact one of the Eagles' great rivals in the Dallas Cowboys for the negative going forward, regardless of how this goes ahead and turns out. Give me a ranking as we go ahead and end the day of the quarterbacks in the NFC East, right? Hurts is 1. Then do you go Dak, then you go Daniel Jones, then Sam Howell? Do you move Daniel Jones ahead of Dak? Probably not just yet, but give me your ranking. Curious where you guys are at on that down below. Okay, plenty more stuff happening the next couple of days and weeks. I'm really close to 13,000 subs here on the channel. If you have not subscribed yet, I'd appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up button, and we'll see you guys in the next one. I'm Thomas Mott. This has been The Thomas Mott Show.